Hello everyone. In this series of tutorials we are going to show you how to create an Asteroids type game based on the classic arcade game. As you can see, we've got this version here. It looks a little bit different. It uses sprites instead of all vector graphics and that sort of thing, and you can see the weapons are slightly different. We've got a laser here, and we also have standard buttons here, and you see our guy just moves around like normal, and we've got a couple little surprises in here. We've got a weapon here that will destroy everything within a certain radius. And so way we're gonna do this is we're gonna build this game in sections here. We're gonna start simply with getting our ship to move the way we want them to, and then we'll in future tutorials we will add the asteroids and add the enemy ships, and then add the power-ups and special weapons and the HUD display here. So just here we go. Okay, in this first tutorial we're just going to simply get our project set up, and then we'll start adding to it in the subsequent tutorials. The first thing we need to do is we need to open up GameMaker. So you should be able to find your GameMaker and icon on your desktop or somewhere, and just double click that, open up to this window here, and we want to go to New. And instead of doing drag and drop like those of you in my class or have watched other videos of mine, we're going to use GameMaker language. GameMaker language works significantly different than drag and drop, but it gives you a lot more flexibility and a lot more options to do different things. So it's in this case what we're doing, and this is a much better choice than doing simple drag and drop. So go ahead and click GameMaker language, and I'm gonna just save it in the default location here, and I'm just going to call it Asteroids. Now, if you're one of my students, please save it with the name that I've instructed you to in the class instructions, and save it in the location that you were asked to. If you're just watching on YouTube or stream, you can name it whatever you want. So again, make sure you spell asteroids correctly. It's A-S-T-E-R-O-I-D-S. Just commonly misspelled. The O and the I are reversed, so make sure that gets spelled correctly. Okay, so just click Save. So now we've got our game set up, and the first thing we want to do is we want to set up the way that it displays a little bit. We want it to display a little bit smoother. Most modern computer systems run at 60 frames per second, but GameMaker has a default rate of 30 frames per second. So we're going to fix that up, and then we're also going to fix the sprites so that they display a little bit cleaner when they start rotating and scaling. So the way you do that is in GameMaker, over on the right hand side here, you'll see it says options. If you do not see this, it's probably just collapsed on the side here. So if you'll find this little bar right here that lights up when you hover over it, just click it, and then you will see options right here. Open that up, and you'll see main and Windows. Go ahead and open up main, just double click on it, and you'll see in the general section right here, make sure that's selected, you'll see 30 game frames per second. That's the standard GameMaker default. So we're going to change that to 60. Okay, and then we're going to go to Windows here, and in the Windows section under Graphics, you click that, and you're going to see this choice here, Interpolate Colors Between Pixels. So make sure that is checked. Okay. Alright, so go ahead and click Apply and OK on this one. Also make sure you click Apply and OK on this one. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to just overview the room real quick. We're going to open up the room, and I'm just going to simply name the room something more descriptive here, in case we want to add levels later on. So just slowly click that twice, and you'll see it now allows you to edit the room name. So I'm just going to call it RM, lowercase, and this is my naming convention. If you've got one that works for you, that is fine. And I'm just going to call it space 1. And again, if we add layers later on, this will be our levels. This will be our first level. Alright, so I'm going to open that up and just make sure everything is okay the way we want it, in case your default settings might be slightly different. For this game, since we don't have a whole lot of objects running around, and there's nothing much that we have to set up in the room. Having one instance layer is fine, but a lot of times in games you'll need more than one instance layer. So depending on the game, just do what you need to. And to add more layers, you just click this button right here. We're going to go ahead and leave this one, instances. The only thing I want to do is make sure your background is black here, and to do that, you just click on background right here and check this piece right here. If you want to get really fancy, you can get some kind of space background to put in there. So just click here, just make sure this is black. Okay, so click OK. Alright, that's it for setting up the room. In the next tutorial, we'll actually get our ship made and we will start getting him to move.